This is a 1984 Fly or Die podcast.
We are now here, another episode of the 1984 Fly or Die podcast. And this time it's going to be a really special episode because I have here a brother, a true hustler of the word, but a hustler in the spiritual realm. You probably be saying, what the hell is that? I'm going to break it down to you momentarily. His name is Big Mala. Now, on Facebook, I had this big call out. I said, hey, if you know a yogis, a yoga instructor, send them my way. And people did that. People had their friends. People that I knew, hey, check me out. I'm like, cool. But then this cat came on. He said, yo, there's nobody out here doing it like I'm doing it. I said, okay, cool. Let me check this out. Go to his profile. Saw all the places that he's been an instructor at. And I just said, God dang. I said, how is this possible? I mean, he's truly a hustler. But not only is he a hustler, but he has an understanding of yoga and the benefits, what it can do for your life. Because I'm sure it's done great things for him. So let's not keep going on with the talk. Let's get down to it. Big Mala, how you doing today?
Namaste, you know what I mean? We good. It's all good.
Fantastic. So the question I want to know off the top is, how do you do it?
I mean, by the grace, by the spirit of devotion and my dedication to the yoga. You know, in the streets they say you gotta be true to the game, and it pays off. And that's really been my experience. You know, it's when you find something that you could really give your all into, it adds another level to just living. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really can start accessing places of perseverance and resilience that is kind of hard to do when you just, you know, shucking and jiving and not really into what you're doing, just trying to get a check or just trying to get some fame or something like that. Like, once I realized what the yoga really was and I recognized its impact in my life, I was all in from the gate, from jump. I was all in. And then being all in, I mean, like you said, I am a hustler. You know, I came from that, like, directly. As I was transitioning into my yoga, I was transitioning out of the streets and being able to serve people a product that's good for them from all angles. You know, we was taught that any yoga is better than no yoga. And so if I could just give people just a something to raise their eyebrows at, or, you know, something that's going to help them in any way, and I'm going to do that if all possible. And that turned into like, I got momentum with it. You know, once I started teaching and I started being effective and I start, you know, recognizing the skills that it takes to be a quality yoga teacher. And I start recognizing quality yoga from, you know, that watered down cut stuff. It really allowed me to embrace that aspect of the hustle and the grind, but, you know, for the awareness, health, and wellness.
First, let's talk about the transition, because I read that you started getting into yoga around 2014.
No doubt.
So what was your life like before that?
I mean, keep it a bean. I mean, I was down south, you know what I'm saying? I was in jail for like a little while, not long, but, you know, I got out and then I you know, floundered down there a little bit. And then I came back up here to try to line everything back up and try to, you know, see what my next move was going to be. And, you know, I got hurt. Like, my foot kind of just started messing up. And long story short, the yoga helped me in 2 weeks. No doctors, no pills, no nothing. And I did this sun salute for 2 weeks, and then I had to, I had got bit by the yoga bug. Like, I seen the yoga ghost, so I had to see what was up, because I know I was hit. And I ain't never been hit like that. I ain't never broke a bone, so it was never, like, debilitating. But once I got into the yoga, it was like I was still kind of, like dabbling, for lack of a better word. But it was like it got to a point where it's like, who do you want to be? I always said, when I turned 30, I was I was going to be into whatever I was into, and that's what it was going to be. And it was like, I found yoga when I was 28. And then 29, I got certified and started teaching, like right before I got certified. And then I got certified again. And, and I had my baby. And it was like, so by the time I turned 28, I was still in the mix, you know what I'm saying, doing my thing and trying to figure out a way. But by the time I turned 30, I was teaching all around the city, and I had a baby. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, this is who I am. And it's even through the difficulties and transition, and it's like, you really got to accept who you are at a certain point, and you got to rock out like that, or you frauding. And if you fraud, you're going to pay for it. And I'm like, I don't never want to pay that price.
Right. Wow. So in what aspects do you think that yoga has changed your life for the better?
Really, the number one word I can answer that with is awareness. You know what I'm saying? Because once you get that awareness breeds understanding and a more efficient perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can wrap your head around stuff that you might not have necessarily been able to wrap your head around. Like, I'm a real extreme kind of intense kind of dude, so stuff will happen and I'll have a strong emotional response, but that emotional response might not come from a place of logic, and in the streets it's life or death and, freedom or incarceration. So it's like those decisions got to be made in a more acute way. But with the yoga, as I saw it transforming my life, like my first, they say yoga is a room with many doors, and it's not about the door that you go in, it's about getting into the room. And so I came through the room of injury. And so I saw how, I was hit before I did the yoga, and then I did the yoga and I was cool. So that was a fact in my life that I couldn't really get around, and it was like, as the more yoga I did, the brighter I shine. Like, not no ego, your ego is the only enemy in yoga. You don't get wrapped up in the ego. But it was like I had never, the only time I ever had a living wage legitimately was when I was illegal. I ain't never had a check that I was busting that really like put me in position like, oh, what do I feel like doing? You know what I'm saying? I didn't get that until I touched the streets. But then once I realized that, you can't really, you can't grow in survival mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you stressed out and always worrying about this and that and cats blowing down on you, the law and, all this extra stuff, you're not able to develop and you're not able to grow and keep becoming the person that you're supposed to be. So, like, I was realizing that's where I was, and I was so close to where I knew would be like essentially the point of no return. And it really just, the yoga opened my eyes. And so and let me say, I was blessed because of how I was brought into the yoga game. Like, I started taking classes under this ball, Joseph Stukatsky, and he is, watching him teach is like watching somebody pour syrup on pancakes. Like, it's just so smooth. He do what he want, and it just come out it's just amazing. And also, I was trained at the oldest yoga studio in Philadelphia, Yoga on Main. We just celebrated our 25th year anniversary. And, they so dedicated to authentic, genuine, sincere yoga that enthusiasm fed into the training that I received. So as I was, doing my own little personal research and checking out the yoga game on my own, once I finally came to a place that could provide me that wealth of information and that structure to access and incorporate that information into my yogic understanding, it was like, it was just like peanut butter and jelly. Like, it just went together. And then it's like, fast rewinding back to the streets, at the pinnacle of my operations, you know what I'm saying? I was dealing with two OGs, and they was both from Philly, but we was all out of town together, which is I'm not gonna get too deep in that, but it was wild. But you know what I'm saying, my one OG, you know, rest his soul, he was all about the life and the work. You know what I'm saying? He taught me that if you serve raw, the streets can't compete with you. You make your own lane. Like if you got a product that's just so dope, you know, you going ahead, you got all of the leverage. You know what I'm saying? But my other OG, he was about, you know, the party and the bread. Mm-hmm. So he cutting everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he getting his money, mm-hmm. but you know, we out of town, so it don't matter. But he taught me that, you know, you could put the whip on it, and you could, you know, double, triple, quadruple up. And you know that you're gonna get all of the attention because you moving that quick. You moving that much volume. You moving more volume, even though you moving a less quality product. And so it's interesting because, like, as far as my resume goes, I mean, first of all, you know, I stay true to the game. The reason I am who I am in these yoga streets is because I keep it raw, all day, every day. Straight yoga. I don't need no goats. I don't need no glow in the dark stuff. I don't need nothing. You feel me? I don't even need a mat. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care, man. I'm really out here in these yoga streets for whatever. Rain, shine, sleet, whatever. I'm out here. And I'm out here with, you know, this health, wellness, and awareness. I'm not out here to try to get, you know, I'm not trying to set you up to take no pictures. You know what I'm saying? This is not no exhibition. This is not no spectator sport. This is you tapping into yourself and getting to that place of inner awareness that you can make the best decision for yourself moving forward outside, on the outside. You know what I'm saying? And you know, to deal with life, you got to throw some cut in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, people work jobs that they don't want because they want to provide a lifestyle for themselves. You know what I'm saying? They want to get to a certain job that they do want. Like, you gotta take the what you don't want with the what you want to get to where you trying to go. You know what I'm saying? That's essential, and it don't matter what you're doing in life. You just got to deal with that. Like, whether it's a boss that's in your way, or whether, you know, this company is trying to shiest you out of this consultation or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's always some kind of, you know, mud in the water. That's how I call it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta deal with the mud in the water. Ain't never gonna get a clean drop. And so you just gotta recognize what you trying to do in life. And that's why I say, you know, bring me back to the point, like the awareness. Yoga gave me the understanding that at the end of the day, it really is under my control, because it's nothing under my control. You know what I'm saying? Life gonna be life, whether I'm dead or not. And so it's like, what do I want to give? You know what I'm saying? Like, of my energy. You know what I'm saying? The universe created me, so what do I think I'm here to do? And it's like, you to answer that question, you gotta ask that question. You gotta start from that place of awareness, because awareness gives you perspective. And once you got perspective, then you can start dealing with efficiency. Because if you're not living efficiently with efficiency, you wasting time. Wasting everybody's time. You wasting energy, more important. And it's like, I just got to that place where it was like, I can't, you know what I'm saying? I got a daughter. I can't have no time to waste. It's not even about me no more. Mm-hmm. And so this whole legacy, like, when she looked back, and you know what I'm saying, she look at all of the stuff that they got to say about her dad, they not about to say, oh, well, yeah, you know what I'm saying, he sold out with the yoga to try to get that bread, or, you know what I'm saying, he did this, that, and the third, so he could, you know, get this, that, and the third. And it's like, no, I'm here for the yoga. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I could carry it like I carry it. That's why I could say, no. I could curse on this, bro. Yeah, I can say these niggas ain't fucking with me because I'm out here fucking grinding like a motherfucker in these yoga streets, all raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need no packaging. I don't need I don't need no gimmicks. I don't need none of that shit. I don't give a fuck who shows up. You know what I'm saying? Like, no disrespect to any of my practitioners and, you know what I'm saying, you know, omies of the yoga-ronis or any brogies. Like, look, I love y'all, but I don't give a fuck if y'all show up. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm here for this yoga. I'm here for the essence of the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's really what, and when you righteous on that tip, it's not no confusion. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really confused about which way to move with this yoga. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting a kids workshop at one of the most premier yoga studios in the area. And that starts in January. Right now, currently, I'm the featured teacher for the Black Yoga Teachers Alliance website. Like, if you go on the website, I'm right there. And it's like, I didn't get that because I had the most people in my class, or I got paid the most money for a class, or, you know what I'm saying, I got the biggest advertising. I'm not about none of that shit. I'm about this yoga, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I deal with the kids because that's my demographic. You got to know your population. That's my population. And I'm easing my way into that being more of what I'm doing, but it's the yoga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm dedicated.
You mentioned the watered down stuff.
The cut.
Now, what is that within yoga, watered down yoga?
All right, so if you look at, you know what I'm saying, first of all, yoga is traditionally meant to be taught one-on-one. You see what I'm saying? If you got a shoulder issue, then I'm going to bring you some shoulder shit. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And not only am I going to bring you some shoulder shit, we going to deal with energetically what that means. Because, you know, the physical ailments and debilities are only manifestations of energetic imbalances. So you only hurt if your shit is out of balance. Because if your shit is lined up, then you're not hurt. That's just how it goes. And the thing about yoga over here in the westernized, you know what I'm saying, like the westernized yoga is, you know, first of all, it's 8 steps to yoga. The physical postures, all of the shit that we be seeing is only literally 1/8. You know what I'm saying? It's the yama, break it down. Fuck it. It's the yamas, which is the shit you supposed to do. The niyamas, the shit you not supposed to do. The asana, which is the physical practices. The pranayama, which are the breathing techniques. The pratyahara, which is turning your senses inward. The dharana, which is the concentration. The dhyana, which is the meditation. And then samadhi, which is absorption. Now, the first 2 is not a physical thing. The only physical activities in yoga are 3, 4, and 5, for real. The physical postures, the breathing techniques, and you can call it a physical thing when you sitting still trying to turn your senses inward. You know what I'm saying? But it's not really a physical thing. It's an energetic thing. So technically, the only physical things you're doing with your body are the asana, the physical postures, and the pranayama, the breathing techniques. Over here, you might get to the breathing techniques, but 95% of the shit is asana. And so that's exercise. Mm-hmm. Therapy, you know what I'm saying, therapeutic activity at its best. But it ain't yoga. It's one part of yoga. That's like saying if all you know how to do is subtract, then you know math. That's the difference. That's like the disparity. You know what I'm saying? That's how much you don't fucking know. If you think asana is, you know, yoga, you get on your mat and doing all this fucking pretzel shit, sticking your fucking ear on in your fucking whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, that ain't yoga. That's yoga-based exercise at best. And so when I say watered down yoga, like, they already take this little ass crumb of yoga and they cut that shit up and then put some, like, you know what I'm saying, some wine or some goats or some motherfucking whatever, you know what I'm saying, to try. And the thing, let me speak on that for a second. When you look at like body combat or like step class or like spin class or like motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, ab toner, whatever, with all these motherfucking exercise classes and shit, you don't never hear no goats. You don't never hear no wine. You don't never hear no fucking step class with a twist. You don't hear none of that shit, because yoga brings you to that place of vulnerability, of inadequacy, of damn, I'm not the shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, it don't matter. I don't give a fuck if you like Olympic gymnast John. You get into this yoga, you gonna get to a place where it's like, oh shit, what the fuck is going on? And once you get to that place, you know, we try to distract ourselves from that. That's why you want to go fucking paint. That's why you need a goat biting your ankles. That's why you need, you know what I'm saying, to be glowing in the dark and shit. That's why you need all this trap music and niggas cursing at you and all this shit, because you trying to distract yourself from that place of vulnerability and inadequacy and that place of weakness, essentially. You know what I'm saying? Like when you hold your breath, you know what I'm saying, you close to dying. You closer to dying than when you breathing regular. And so that place of uncomfort and discomfort, that's where the growth happens. So it's like, if you sitting here doing yoga, with some shit to distract you, then you drawing. You not really doing what you supposed to be doing. You faking the funk. You know what I'm saying? You frauding, like, essentially. And I know I got real purist perspectives on this shit, but I mean, I'm not apologizing for that shit. And it is what it is. Like, yo, if you out here doing all this yoga, but you doing it for the gram, or you doing it to try to look a certain way, or you doing this shit to try to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you selling yourself short. And that's how they push it out here. It's bad enough that they already push it as some kind of like trust fund, Starbucks, Lululemon only type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they already pushing it to be exclusive. So it's like, not only is it exclusive, now it's fucking commercialized. And now once you got something exclusive and commercialized, how effective can it really be? So it's like, that's where I feel like I come in. You know what I'm saying? I'm here talking like, yoga's in Sanskrit. If the motherfucker can't talk Sanskrit, they ain't talking but so much real shit. Period. Like, and it's like, when you know and you've been trained well, and that's another thing. Like, a lot of these programs is on some McDonald's shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could catch a training in 2 weeks, or like online or some shit like that. Like, it's on some like trendy, you know what I'm saying, like new outfit type shit. And it's like, that's not what this is. It's not what we doing. And so once you understand what we actually sitting here doing, when we try and get to this health and wellness and mindfulness, then it brings you to a place of seriousness, or no. But if you can't get serious about, you know, your health and your awareness and your mindfulness and your relationship with yourself, if you need a fucking goat licking you in the ass to be comfortable, well, then you wasting your fucking time. I'm saying, like,
I'm mad. I get mad visual sometimes. I'm like, oh
no
man,
shit, that's
weird,
how I be.
dude.
Look, man, I'm in down dog in a goddamn farm, and I seen pictures. I got homies, I got peoples that have been to that shit, and they tell me, you know, it's cool, and I'm like, I'm not hating on it, but it's like, I'm here, you know what I'm saying? I'm true to the game. That's like you getting on a basketball court and start kicking the fucking ball around. You niggas is drawing. You fucking drawing. Like, what are you doing? But shit, and I can't even, like, I don't even turn up about this shit no more. Cause I used to, like, early in my journey, I used to walk around just teaching it, just talking the yoga gospel to everybody. Fuck it, whoever. If you listening to me, you gonna hear about this yoga at this point. Cause I was just so deep in it. But now it's like, you know, if you're doing yoga, shout out to you. Mm-hmm. All yoga is better than no yoga. I mean, my fault. Some yoga is better than no yoga. Any yoga is better than no yoga at all. But all yoga ain't yoga. And over here, most yoga ain't yoga.
You know how you would see certain trends and exercises pop up, mm-hmm. right? Back when it was Taobo. Everybody was Taoboing on here, double time. Here we go. Then, you know, you had
the ad ball, the light-skinned ad ball. Yeah, Sean T. Yes. Shout out to Sean T. He out here.
Like, doing all that. So then I saw the wave when yoga started to become popular, right? Mm-hmm. And I started to see the kinds of people who were doing it all look the same, mm-hmm. right? Then it got to a point that once I saw yoga on TV, mm-hmm. you always had the yoga instructors, like he was like some toned bald guy walking around talking lightly. Yes, downward mm-hmm. dog, mm-hmm. this and that. But it was always about, like you said, the poses, the look of it. But you know, I never heard anyone say in a movie who was like playing a yoga instructor mention breathing or mention anything like that. It was always the poses. If I go on Instagram right now, I put in #yoga. I bet you I'm gonna see somebody with their foot around their neck. It's just like, this is yoga. Mm-hmm. But it's just, for me, the reason why I have you here for this interview is just for me as someone who doesn't know that much about yoga. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't want to go by what I'm seeing mm-hmm. and like in the media, or because like you said, there's two sides to this. There's what's being put out there versus on your words, the raw.
It's the cut and the raw. It's the cut and the raw. Yeah. Any game, whatever you want to look at, it's the cut and the raw. I don't care if you a lawyer. I don't care if you McDonald's. I don't care if you know what I'm saying, you out here collecting cans. You know what I'm saying? It's like you could either deal with it from the perspective of the cut, whereas, you know what I'm saying, you put some extra shit in the mix to make a couple more dollars or get a couple more sales, or you could just deal with the raw and learn the game. And that's like really what separated me from, a lot of my peers. Like, it's interesting because a lot of people, I ain't gonna say a lot of people, man, fuck it, full disclosure, black people on my yoga journey that have, I've encountered, that have, been in a position, ahead of me, higher than I've been in. You know what I'm saying? They've put me in position, but once they realize I'm so dedicated and passionate about thorough, real yoga, they throw me shade. Like, and it's sad because, I was Afrocentric. I was raised Afrocentric, you know what I'm saying, with a love and appreciation and concern for my people. And it's like once you get to a certain point, the ways of the country just start kicking in, and we just feel like we gotta hold each other back, or we feel like we gotta clap so hard to our own personally crafted identities that we can't understand that this is a us thing. You know what I'm saying? Like Siegel said, it ain't a us or we or I'm a thing. It's a good, bad karma thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about no individual motherfucker out here except for my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Even my parents, I love them to death, but at a certain point, they from a time and era where, I'm not from. So they don't have the same appreciation as the sensibilities of reality in the present time as I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got a much more deeper well of wisdom to draw from and much more knowledge and understanding, but they don't know what it's like out here teaching 20 classes a week on some yoga shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just don't. And I'm not hating, but for the people who do have that understanding and that perspective, it's sad that, people let their ego and their own personal agendas and aspirations get into their own way. Like, I give I'm not even gonna get deep in, I ain't gonna call nobody's name out, but I was dealing with this situation. I was teaching a class, the boy hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Yo, can you teach this class? Well, of course. You know what I'm saying? No doubt. And as the season progresses, I get less and less access to my students. Boy, shut the Facebook page down so the teachers can't let students know nothing. Can't nobody advertise what else they got going on. And mind you, this was advertised as part of the compensation for teaching. Like, yeah, you could come teach, but you also got this place where you could expand your own practice and make sure that you getting your name out there and all that. And so it's like the only reason you would even take those measures is if you feel like you getting overshadowed.
But again, with this being yoga, there's no place for the ego.
Yeah, it ain't. But, again, most people don't do yoga. Most of these yogis out here ain't doing yoga. They out here, you know what I'm saying, flexing for the gram. And, like, for real, full disclosure, it's bitches out here and whatever you doing. You know what I'm saying? And my mom call them petty tyrants. You know what I'm saying? When you on your job and when you booming, they come out of nowhere to try to just throw you off. It's like God saying if you really want to do this shit or not. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you about to go on a trip, you lose something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how bad do you really want to be on point to handle this shit? And I mean, that shit hurt me. Like, it broke my heart because it was like, this was a boy that I really looked up to. You know what I'm saying? First black boy I ever seen doing yoga, like, with my own two eyes. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's heartbreaking that you would let your own personal pettiness get into a way of the next coming. That's what I'm saying. I'm up and like, you know what I'm saying? No ego. But they not doing it like me. And if I'm banging with you, then I'm putting you out here. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. I'm the senior national ambassador for Melanin and Yoga. It's a company based out of Virginia, founded by two super dope yogis. And we've been, just building. And it's like, we had an event, didn't really pan out the way we wanted it to. But that like I said, I'm not here for the numbers. I'm not here for the shine or the accolade. But the fact that we can sit here and talk about what we want to get down with, like, people reached out to, like, a lot of people reached out to me after I made this one particular post about how it's hard, you know what I'm saying, dealing with the money that you getting versus your dedication to the culture. Like, I got like 3-4 classes off of that post. And it let me know, like, okay, well, I'm starting to get a voice out here, so I got to be careful about stuff that I'm saying. And not because I got a personal page, but that shit been in Facebook jail for like 5 months now. when shit started getting all racist and stuff, I get real black, and so they locked me down. I think they deactivated it. I don't think they're gonna let me back. But So on my business page, I'll be wanting to say stuff about certain stuff, but I'll be like, nah, it's not yoga. So I might say some shit, but then I delete it like 5 minutes later. And it's because I'm really focused on staying true to the game. And that's hard when it's not really too many people out here like that. And it's even harder when the people that you do find that's like that, they don't look like us. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's one of the brothers, I ain't gonna say his name on the radio, but my man that I met him at the Get Free Fest. Me and my baby mom teach yoga too, and so we was teaching couples yoga at the Get Free Fest. Shout out to Jean Jacques and Jasmine Burton. I met him there, and then he showed up at my community class at Tustin that I had Saturday mornings, and you know what I'm saying, he was surprised that I remembered him, and I'm like, no man, like, you know how many people tell me they come into class and actually come? That's important to me. That's more, impactful to me than, a room full of hundreds of motherfuckers. I don't care about that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to bring this yoga to us. Like, and not just us black folks, us human beings. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's the one thing I do, like, really appreciate about the yoga. It takes it out of that whole, the ism. It ain't about racism or sexism or classism or none of that shit. If we on the mat, we on the mat. So we could rock out on a certain level. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what you was doing before you got on the mat. I don't give a fuck what you about to go do when we get off the mat. But if we on this mat together, then you got a certain understanding about what's going down. And if you don't, well, then you're going to either have more of an understanding by the time you leave, or you're going to have a different perspective to compare it to at least. You know what I'm saying? So when you go to these cookie cutter ass, franchise classes where they just sitting here giving you this fucking program that they had to memorize regardless of whether it's real or not, you can say, well, damn, you know what I'm saying? Is this motherfucker worrying about giving me a thorough yoga class, or is this motherfucker worrying about sounding good and looking good? You know what I'm saying? Like I always tell people, like, it's a difference between looking good and feeling good and being good. And a lot of these motherfuckers out here, is the majority of people, period, we focus on looking good and feeling good. And what looks good and what feels good ordinarily isn't what's good for you. You know what I'm saying? Like however it goes, jobs, interpersonal relationships, all that shit. If it looks good and it feels good, then it is to be evaluated whether it's really good for you. And it's deep because yoga is all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Once you get past them first, the awkwardness of getting to the mat and like the understanding that, yeah, this shit is going to be uncomfortable until I start developing a more established practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be sore. Like, when I started, I couldn't sit down. Like, when I was in my training, shit was crazy, big homie. One of the most impactful stories on my journey. You can ask anybody I was trained with. Yoga on Main, 200 hour, sitting down. And I'm the only black person in there. And, you know what I'm saying? It was another dude. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my man, Nick. Nick is a savage. He's a savage yoga boy. And so, you know what I'm saying? But they all sitting there cross-legged, comfortable as shit, blah, blah, blah. Yo, I couldn't even do shit. The Shiva Das, my trainer, he had to bring out a chair for me. So I'm sitting here in a circle in a chair feeling like a whole dunce. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like real shit. Like, everybody, you know what I'm saying? All these pretzel joints and sit here. I'm like in a chair with the fucking Kevin Hart salty face and shit. Salty as shit. But, like, and I couldn't touch my toes. I couldn't sit cross. I couldn't do shit. And, you know what I'm saying? I had been taking yoga, and I felt the changes, happening. But as I felt the changes happening from taking the classes, I understood the changes and what they meant and how energetically it was playing, how the shit was playing out because of how I was trained. Like if, in terms of teaching yoga, your training is it's kind of the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? Your training in class, you could be a half-ass yoga teacher, but if you was trained well, it's going to shine through. Like, you could be a super serious, extra flexible, you know what I'm saying, dope, whatever, John, but if you was trained, you know what I'm saying, in a fucking, in a Cracker Jack box, like, you ain't gonna be shit. And I mean, it's wild because, it's all contextual, and it's nothing absolute. You know what I'm saying? I've met teachers that wasn't trained that was super dope, and I met teachers that was trained that was fucking shitty. And, again, like, I took so many classes early in my journey, I was able to discern the type of teacher I wanted to be. Like, I had class with this black lady one time, black lady with gray dreadlocks. I ain't gonna say her name, I don't know her name, but That's what it was, right? And she's taught so lewd and so like edgy, and it was like pseudo sexualized. Like I felt fucking violated. You know what I'm saying? Like in the class, and I was like, yo, I don't never want nobody to feel like that leaving my class. Never. And that shit left like a huge impact on me to the point where I don't do adjustments. You know what I'm saying? You could ask the hundreds of people that have been in my class. I ain't never touched nobody. So when they look back in 20 years and try to fucking Bill Cosby me, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, he don't do that. Come at this nigga another way. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's kind of, you know what I'm saying, it holds a little bit back because I've been teaching so long. I could look at somebody and I know I could just like, you know what I'm saying, spread their shoulder blades out to deepen the shoulder settling down their back to open up, you know what I'm saying, broaden and strengthen they scapula. Like I could kind of like do it and know what I'm doing, but it's like I can't run that risk. Like I'm Black and American, you know what I'm saying? They gonna come for me eventually. So I got to really insulate. And so that's what I'm saying, that the games within the games, you know what I'm saying? Like, but in terms of being like authentic and true to the yoga, you really gotta you gotta detach yourself from your expectations. You know what I'm saying? It's like you could think that your shit is gonna go a certain way, but understand that it's probably not gonna go that way. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't listen before 2014. You know, excuse my language, I'd have been like, get the fuck out of my face. You come at me with some yoga shit. Like, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, get the fuck out of here. I'm in these streets, nigga. I'll blow your fucking head off. Like, but it just, you know what I'm saying? It's not who I was. That's who I had conditioned myself to be. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we do these things to ourselves so we can live these lives that we think we need to live because we so wrapped up in the programming and conditioning that we've been receiving before we even knew what programming and conditioning was. Like you can see it now easy. These little kids out here, they brainwashed before they even could spell brainwash. Like I teach in 2 public schools out here. I teach in 2 middle schools. And, you know, I teach in one in the South and one in the Northeast. And, you know, the ones in the South, it's a more controlled environment. So they have, you know, more structure and they don't, you know what I'm saying? But in the Northeast, it's they from such a wild element that, you know what I'm saying, it's not even really possible to bring it to them on a level of understanding outside of that structure. You feel what I'm saying? Like I done had students in South, you know what I'm saying, I had they peoples unblowed on, yo, you think you could work on my kid once the program's over, and that's cool. These kids up there, like, you know what I'm saying, they peoples is base heads and whores and, you know what I'm saying? You walk to school, like I walk from the L, I like walking around the area to see what type of trash the kids are seeing. Fucking needles, condoms, all kinds of bags and caps and vials and shit. Like they see this shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's like they in it, they breathing this air. And so like if I was out here trying to sell them some fucking half-ass yoga shit, they be able to smell that shit on me. Oh, this nigga, he out here trying to get a check. Oh, this nigga, he out here trying, you know what I'm saying, get on a podcast or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's a real difference. You know what I'm saying? I could really perceive the difference of people who really out here for the yoga and people out here to look like they with the yoga. And I don't have no real tolerance for that shit. That's a weakness of mine. But I don't deal with the bullshit well. You know what I'm saying? Especially in these yoga streets. If you want some bullshit, it's like, all right. But don't engage me about this shit because I'm going to let you know you want some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It hurt people's feelings and this yoga and all these fucking rainbows and unicorns ass motherfuckers. They getting their feelings all right, it's cool. They not grinding though. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You motherfuckers, like I know maybe 6 professional yoga instructors that just teach yoga. I know hundreds of yogis. You know what I'm saying? I've had thousands of students at this point in time. And I only know about 6 people who do this shit and only do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, period. Everybody else got another job. And it's like they might be trying to transition. They might be trying to get. But it's like I was blessed with the skill set and the lifetime experience and the dedication and the devotion and just the temperament that I was like, oh, I'm doing this yoga shit. Like, all right. And then the fucking doors just started opening. But it only came because I was true to the game. And like that's why they stray away. That's why they cut it up. They cut it up because they can't deal with the raw. You know what I'm saying? How many people could really face themselves in the mirror? Pac said that shit. These motherfuckers is out here tripping because they can't look themselves in the mirror and keep it a bean.
And now that you mentioned Tupac, that's what I saw on your profile.
Oh yeah, thug life, baby.
Right, because I saw you, because you had Tupac. What pose was he in?
It's Padmasana. That's lotus pose.
Lotus pose.
And it's interesting because that was the pose. Like, there's a picture. My mom does yoga. She started me doing yoga, and one of the first pictures I ever seen of somebody doing yoga was my mom and Lotus with this big afro, just chilling. And I always wanted to get into that pose, but you know, it seemed like it was another universe. It was in a whole nother universe when I first started it. But yeah, I could bust that shit on both sides now. Like,
Word.
it is, and it's like it is really a testament, you know what I'm saying, to the journey. The journey is like the destination. You know what I'm saying?
Like, all the things you think about Tupac, whether you think about him before the death row, after death row, you know, things that he stood for, then you think about yoga, right? It's an interesting marriage. What about that connected you?
Well, I mean, you know, Pac has been first. Biggie's the greatest in my opinion.
Same here. I'll say that to everybody.
You know what I'm saying? Biggie Smalls is the greatest because it's like everything you need out of hip hop, you can find that shit in Ready to Die and Life After Death.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what kind of feeling you going for, what kind of vibe, what kind of Big did it. You know what I'm saying? I attribute that to, you know what I'm saying? Of course, he's from Brooklyn, but he got that Caribbean blood. You know, Caribbeans, they just make everything just dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? Caribbeans just make everything seem cooler. And so the fact that he could, like, you know what I mean, use the bop and they just the rhythmic, the melodic, you know what I'm saying? I really always gravitated towards Big in terms of lyricism and delivery and content, you know what I'm saying? But Pac was the passion, you know what I'm saying? Pac was the unbridled, unadulterated Afrocentricity, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was who he was, regardless of if that's his true nature or who he developed himself to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, Digital Underground Pac was just as passionate as, you know what I'm saying, Death Row Pac. Now, they was passionate about different things, but they was both just as passionate, and I always identified with that passion. But until I found the yoga, I couldn't find nothing that I could really unleash that passion with. You know what I'm saying? You can't be passionate in the streets. You know what I'm saying? If you love the money, you gonna die. If you love the work, you gonna OD. If you love the bitches, you gonna get in a horrible situation one way or another. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you put too much love in a situation where it ain't love, it's gonna bite you in the ass. You know what I'm saying? But this yoga is everything is love. You know what I'm saying? Everything about the yoga. It's nothing in the yoga. The only thing that the yoga do is make it better. Make everything better that you're trying to do. I don't give a fuck, mind, body, spirit. If you fuck with the yoga, it's gonna make that shit better. And so once I realized that and found that, it let me reconnect to that passion, you know, because I was in the technique at the point, you know what I'm saying? Like, I knew what to do what I was trying to do, but I knew that this wasn't what I wanted to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Once I found what I wanted to be doing, it was like, oh, word, I'm going in. And you know, like a lot of the Pac that I really relate to is the whole philosophy, that whole thug life philosophy, the hate that you give little infants fucks everybody. And it's like, if you look at black people in our infancy, you know, we was brought over here by the slavers and all that shit, like, we was given a lot of hate, and we received nothing but hate for our entire existence, you know what I'm saying? Since we got off the boat to, you know what I'm saying, Obama, like, you know what I'm saying, period. They hate black people in America. They love us. They love our culture. They love what we do. They love our dick. They love everything about it. They love ass. They love lips. They love color. They love everything about us, but they hate us, who we are, what we represent. You know what I'm saying? And it's that fear. You know what I'm saying? And when you understand as a black person why they hate you, it's empowering. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's like, you know, my old head broke it down to me one time. Like, you know, if black folk wanted to, black men wanted to, we could wipe out the white gene in like 2-3 generations. White folks can't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? If a black man has sex with a black woman, that's a black baby. I mean, with a white woman, that's a black baby. You know what I'm saying? If a white man has sex with a black woman, that's a black baby. You know what I'm saying? They can't do that. You know, and it's like, it's that's why they go so hard trying to hold us down and make us think that we dumber and slower and less human than we are. That's why that whole 3/5 compromise shit rocked out the way it did, because it's easy for them to come up with all of these sciences and reasons and explanations to how they're superior to us, because they know that they're not. You know what I'm saying? And so like, no ego, I kind of take that approach with the yoga. You know what I'm saying? When I step into a room, whether it's to take a class or to teach a class, it's all eyes on me. I'm probably the only black person there. I'm most likely the only black male that's ever been in that motherfucker. And I'm probably busting it out heavier than everybody in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a breath in here called the Ujjayi breath with the yoga. And that's when you... like the Darth Vader kind of breath. And that audio component to the breath brings a focus to your practice. And so when you start getting distracted by the fluctuations of the mind, it brings you back to that discipline and that place of presence. You know what I'm saying? That place of present awareness. And once you get there, it lets you get back. Like, I give you an example. I almost died. Shout out to Yoga Josie Rosa Gat. She's a savage in these yoga streets. Like, she's, you know what I'm saying, she was early on my journey, but she teaches hot yoga as well, you know what I'm saying? Now, I got, my feelings about hot yoga, but it's like, it's my homegirl, so, I'm going to take my homegirl class. Now, I almost died in that motherfucker.
Jesus.
I ain't gonna hold you. I almost died. This was like last week. I almost died in that motherfucker, dog. Like, I ain't had no water. I ain't want to interrupt the class and go get the water. I almost like, you know how you so physically strained at the walls, or your vision start closing in a little bit and it get fuzzy on the outside. I was there, like, I was fucking woozy. It was almost over. But I connected to that breath and it got me back. You know what I'm saying? It got me back to that place of sustainability, and I was able to finish the class. Now, I was fucked up for a half hour afterwards. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't move, but I got through the class, and I'm looking at the people in the class, and it's like, I'm hearing them breathe, and it's like, yo, these motherfuckers, a lot of these people is here really pushing themselves past the point. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, because I got into the party life pretty heavy down south, and it was like, I know being past the point, it's nothing good past the point. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't function past the point. And so it was like, it got me thinking, how many people are really, giving themselves what they need. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a difference between doing what you think you're supposed to be doing and giving yourself what you need. If you're not giving yourself what you need, you drawing. And the only way you could give yourself what you need is by knowing yourself. Because if you out here trying to do all this shit, it's like people that kill me with they dieting and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? You go through all this, you calculate all this shit about how many carbs you try to eat and how many times you try to eat. Well, do you know what you got going on in your body? Do you know really what you need? Or do you just read this shit and it sound good? You know what I'm saying? It's like what's the boy? Jaden Smith. I don't know what track it is. He on some track with the boy Childish Gambino. And he say, like, do you like that shit that you like? Do you really like that shit? And it's like, to take that personal assessment, it's really the whole point of this yoga shit. You know what I'm saying? You do all these poses and all that shit to be able to find a Stidham Sukham Asana, firm, stable, comfortable seat. So you sit there and think, and then not think, and then just let the thoughts come through. And so you could tap into that energy of your own mental rhythm and get that knowledge that's gonna come that you can't get without cooling the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, that place, bringing it back to your question, you know what I'm saying? Whenever I would see people interact with pot or hear people talk about pot, you know what I'm saying? One of the main things they called it was authentic. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of how you felt about him or what he was doing or what he was talking about, none of that shit, you knew that the nigga was coming from a place of authenticity. And that's what I want them to talk. That's how I want them to talk about me in this yoga shit. Yeah, he was overzealous, he was profane, he was intolerant, he was all this shit, but was the nigga real? You know what I'm saying? He keep it a beam with this yoga shit. And they ain't gonna have no choice but to say, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how I carry it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at my profile, like, I got, you know what I'm saying? I think I got like 300 something Savasana selfies. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where they're just at the class, I'll snap my little shot. You don't see no pictures of me doing yoga. And any picture you do see of me doing yoga, another motherfucker took it. I didn't set that shit up. Because I'm not setting pictures up for me taking yoga. I'm doing fucking yoga. If niggas want to flick flicks, cool. That's on them. But I'm not worried about that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not taking pictures of people in poses. I'm not trying to explain. No. Doing this fucking yoga. If you want to do this yoga, let's rock out. Otherwise, take that shit to the ground. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, that's how I connected, because it allowed me to really tap into that whole the energy, the authenticity. You know what I'm saying? When you really out here doing what you're doing, you could be about that shit. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers that's like, I'll give you an example, these free meat niggas, right? I ain't gonna get on my opinion about that shit, but there's people out there, because some of them really, think that the situation he in is fucked up. But then there's other people out there just dick eating. And we from Philly. We from a city of dick eats. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like, I ain't never met no like city. Philly just got, it's just a culture of dick eating. You know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga button his shit all the way up to the top. The whole fucking West Philly button his whole shit up to the, you know what I'm saying? It's like, Philly is a city of dick eating. And so I look at that, but then I look at the people that come out of Philly, like any industry or any, you know what I'm saying, thing that is really going on, Philly got somebody at the top. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk music? You know what I'm saying? We got all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk science? You know what I'm saying? UPenn just did the whole fucking cancer research. You know what I'm saying? Philly always at the forefront of whatever the fuck we doing. If it's something to be done and somebody in Philly doing it, they at the forefront. You know what I'm saying? Will Smith, Black Thought, fucking Bill Cosby, goddamn, what's the boy? Keon Buford. You know what I'm saying? It's always like all across the board throughout fucking history. You know what I'm saying? I just found out C. Dolores Tucker was from Philly. You know what I'm saying? And it don't even really matter what you look at. We got somebody at the top. And since that's the case, and I did decide to do this yoga shit, well, I got to do it to the max. You know what I'm saying? It's in the blood, essentially. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the city. Like, I represent my city. And so I could either be a dick eat or I could be the most thorough boy out here. And that was an easy choice for me. You know what I'm saying? Last thing about Pop, from the Thug Life School of Thought, you got nigga. You know what I'm saying? Never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. It's an acronym. And so, once I get enough, I guess, notoriety, for a lack of a better word, I can start talking about black shit again. You know what I'm saying? Like, right now, I'm it's all yoga, namaste, blah, blah, blah. But, we need this shit. You know what I'm saying? Stress kill black folks. Every day, all day. Hundreds of niggas all over the country. Just drop dead, fuck it. Just stressed out. And it's like, we don't address that shit. It's not only historical trauma and all of the shit that we've been through as a people, but the shit that we go through every day and the shit that we put ourselves through. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody is a nigga. Everybody ignorant to something. Nobody knows everything. And so when you look at it like that, and then you flip it to being never ignorant, getting goals accomplished, it's like, my goal was to be the most thorough nigga out here in these yoga streets. Now, it wasn't because of the shit that's gonna come for that, but it's just because that's who I am. And when my daughter looked back on her dad's legacy, that's what I want her to see. Oh yeah, he was just out here in these yoga streets fucking balling. And it's like, yeah, it's undeniable. And when you carry it like that, when you carry it with the thug life principles and the nigga mentality, the acronym, not the actual ignorance, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really, it creates like I said, authenticity, man. You can't really, there's no substitution for that shit. There's no substitution for timing and experience, and there's no substitution for sincerity. That's what my time down south taught me, you know what I'm saying? Like, up north, it's about your check, about how much money you got, how many resources you got access to. When you go down south, it's about the character and the content of who the fuck you are. That's why they can have their little bar fights and then, you know what I mean, drink and be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, up here, you get into a fucking bar fight, they got shut your spot down. Because we not having that shit. I'm gonna shoot everybody in this motherfucking spot. Like, down south, it's like, oh, this is my cousin. Yeah, we gonna fight, but then we gonna have this drink and then go back to being chill. And it's just, it ain't good or bad, but it's important to understand that, who you are is what counts, not what you got. And you know what I'm saying? Pac really, he explained that shit to me through his music and through how he lived. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he really seemed to have that understanding that dedication and devotion and authenticity is no substitution for that. You know what I'm saying?
There we go. So, of course, I know I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this, my brother. Are your chakras aligned, my brother?
Fuck no. Fuck no, my shit's spinning all out of control, big homie. I ain't gonna like. I'm not one of these boys. I don't do yoga because I'm that type of boy. I do yoga to try not to step the fuck out. Like, I be wanting to listen. The streets be calling me. You know what I'm saying? My old life be calling me. Like all that shit be calling me every day. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a literal like it's a draw. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not, and it's drawing, but I be drawn to it. But you know, it ain't. Yoga it's a cure all, but it ain't the cure. You know what I'm saying? It's the it give you that awareness to see what's up with you, but it don't fix you. Like, knowing some shit don't mean that you doing some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, my meditation practice is in the fucking toilet. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've been trying to establish that harder. My personal practice is hit. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I've been teaching so much, and that's not a good look. And I recognize that, and I recognize how when I don't practice, it puts me in a mood where I'm not handling the rest of my shit efficiently. You know what I'm saying? And so, no, my chakras is, I ain't gonna say they all fucked up, but it's definitely, no, fuck no. And it ain't no, like I said, the journey is the destination. It ain't about, nobody's running on all 6 cylinders. Ain't nobody's chakras totally aligned. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect, but that don't mean we can't strive for perfection. That don't mean the pursuit of perfection is, what's the word? Futile. It ain't futile. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be perfect is perfect in and of itself. I was typing up my notes yesterday, and it said any approach that you make towards God is a righteous approach. So instead of wasting time sitting here trying to figure out the best approach, just approach. You know what I'm saying? If going to church is how you do it, cool, go to church. If going to the mosque is how you go to the mosque. If sitting in a fucking quiet room, go sit in your quiet, but you got to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I can know all of the yoga shit in the world, but unless I'm actually applying that shit to myself, then it's hollow. Like, I've been going through my difficult times and shit, and I done dumped on my students a couple times, and I had to sit back and be like, well, did I just do that from a place of personal need, or did I do that because I thought that was what's best for the class? And sometimes you don't get a clear answer, and you got to live with that shit. But like I said, the awareness is key. You know what I'm saying? Once you start dealing with the shit, then you could deal with the shit. But if you sit here and keep sweeping the shit under the rug, or like our favorite line, I'm all right. No, we not fucking all right. We hit. You know what I'm saying? But it's just so deep, I can't get into you right now. I can't get into it with you right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but nah, yoga give you that place to be like, no, I'm not all right. So what the fuck is wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like, and not just going and smoking that shit away, and not just going and fucking that shit away, and not just going and, you know what I'm saying, distracting myself from the issues or watering this shit down, but like, look, this is what it is. You deal with this shit, acknowledge it, accept it, and then move the fuck on. And that's what it give you. It give you that spiritual armor to deal with the bullshit. Because it's easy to say, oh yeah, that's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, point that shit out and then turn the other way. But looking at it and then dealing with it, especially when it's in the mirror, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, no, my chakras, them shits is, I ain't gonna say they crooked. They definitely spinning a little different. But it's like, all right, with the chakras, for our listeners, it's 7 chakras. It's actually a bunch of fucking chakras, but it's 7 basic chakras that you're going to encounter on a yogic journey. It's the root chakra at the base of the spine, the Muladhara, the sacral chakra, 3 fingers below the navel, the Svadhisthana, the power chakra at your solar plexus, the Manipura, the heart chakra, the Anahata chakra, the throat chakra, the Vishuddhi chakra, your third eye chakra, the Anja chakra, and then your crown chakra, the Shasharara chakra. Now, each one of them joints got a certain set of characteristics, and it spins at a certain frequency, and it's like, and it's wild because you, like, the more you expand your knowledge base, the more parallels you could draw. So I'm to the point where I recognize that, the 7 notes, or not 7 notes, the 7 chakras can be, the notes, music could be applied to it too. So it goes C, D, E, F, G, A, B. You know what I'm saying? So those are the 7 notes. Like, and if you chant, you know what I'm saying, like a mantra at that key, then you working on that chakra. Or if you it's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo-ish, pure light, whatever that looks like to you. Well, if you focus on that color, well, you can work on that chakra. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's a bija mantra, which is a one-word mantra, Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Ham, Om, and Om. And if you chant that, thinking about that color, you know what I'm saying, like at this tone, well, now you working on it from 3 different angles. And that's the type of shit like that where I say awareness really helps you, because if I don't feel like chanting today, well, I could just sit here and close my eyes and think about the color that I think I'm fucking up on. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, I notice a lot of you know what I'm saying, congestion between my second and third chakras. Now they say that all of existence is caught up in the first 3 chakras. Anything that exists is dealing with, because the first one is survival and grounding. The second one is balance. The third one is like drive and ambition and motivation. The fourth one is gratitude and compassion and shit like that. The fifth one is self-expression and uniqueness. The sixth one is intuition and anticipation and faith. And the third one, the last one is, divinity. Whatever concept you got, or the universal oneness that connects us all, blah, blah, blah. So wherever you feeling weak, you know what I'm saying? I find myself a lot of times staying balanced is hard for me. You know what I'm saying? Like something will happen. Like I had a rough morning this morning because of some dumb shit. And that, you know what I'm saying, I felt so thrown off, like it would just throw my whole morning off. Now, that's not a balanced reaction. And so I look at that and it's like, well, why was I out of balance? You know what I'm saying? I think I was out of balance because I didn't set up my night to have a productive morning. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, oh, they did this and that shit just fucked me up and blah, blah, blah. It's more of a, instead of looking at the problem, you look at what caused the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even in medicine, like medicinally over here in Western civilization, it's like a militarized mentality. Let's find the germs or the problem and attack that shit. Let's cut the shit out, whatever, burn the shit, whatever. Whereas with the yoga, it's like, well, okay, well, why is this particular problem popping up in this particular person? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck are they doing in their life that makes them, that makes their energy manifest this injury? So I give you an example. We carry a lot of emotion in our hips and shit. Now, most dudes that pop up on the mat got tight hips because we're conditioned to keep our emotions internalized. We're not conditioned to be emotionally expressive. You know what I'm saying? So when you start loosening people's hips up, motherfuckers start crying. You know what I'm saying? Myself included. I've been in classes where it's like, I just came out and I was just so overwhelmed with emotion, and niggas just start crying. Like, I don't know what the fuck is wrong, but it's such a powerful experience, and it's so unfamiliar, but it's so legitimate. You know what I'm saying? It's so real that it take you to a place where you just overwhelmed emotionally. And if we recognize that as weakness, then we don't go there. And so we remain weak for real. And that awareness that comes from the yogic practices is really the difference. And everybody do yoga. It's just a matter of whether or not you know you do yoga. Everybody got something where they can go into the zone where you can feel your heartbeat, where you so connected that it feel like time stops, where it's like everybody has these experiences doing different shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, once you understand why you're having these experiences, or why it takes this type of activity to produce those type of experiences, you leave yourself in the dark with yourself at a certain point. Like, for example, I used to think, smoking an L and having sex was like my release. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was like really just a way for me to calm down. But as my circumstances changed, I noticed that, that was having a weaker and weaker effect. Like, it would take more bud, and it would take stronger drugs, and it would take more women, and it would take more times a day. And you know what I'm saying? It would be like, it became an insatiable thing because I was looking for peace in a place of no peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, until you try to go to that place of peace to get that peace, you going to sit here and you pouring water into a cup with holes in it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's going to need more water and more water, and eventually it's still, you're going to have an empty ass cup. But until you look at the cup and look at why I got these holes in the cup. Is these new holes? Is these old holes? Did I poke these holes? Who poked these holes? How can I cover these fucking holes up? How can I cover these holes up in a way where the water going to stop coming out the cup? You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the awareness, because everybody thinks different. Everybody relates to everything different. So until you really know yourself and come to that place of awareness, inner awareness. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to know what your fucking favorite color or to put on your clothes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? How many times, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to look good or feel good. But what the fuck does it take for you to be good? You know what I'm saying? And that's really, you know, with the chakras and shit. Like, that's just another tool to bring you into that awareness. Yeah, I talk this yoga shit all day, man. You got the right one. I told you, cuz. I told
Facts.
you.
Facts. So let's bring it down to this point here, right? Kind of like the grand finale, I would say. Because you mentioned all the things, the experiences of yoga, things you learned, and all of its effects for your life. If someone was to walk up to you and they say, look, man, my life is in the shitter right now. I'm going through all this. You know, people have family issues. People have personal health issues. And someone may ask you, say, yo, Big Mala, how could yoga save? What would you say to them?
I mean, the practice. You know what I'm saying? It's going to save you by letting you know who you are. You know what I mean? Like, that's really the best answer I feel like I could get to that question, because, you know, I don't know you. Even if I know you, I don't know you. And so because I don't know you, for me to be so presumptuous to think that I could tell you, oh, go, you know what I'm saying, stand in Vrikshasana on your right side for 2 minutes and, you know what I'm saying, chant this Kali mantra. I mean, I could do some shit like that. And because I was trained how I was trained and I had the experiences that I have, I might even be right. But in my opinion, that's not necessarily what's best for you. What's best for you is to check out this yoga, see what talks to you, and then start from there. You know what I'm saying? Some people, like I got a homie, he came through the door of meditation. He ain't really do no kind of physical nothing, but he just sat there an hour or two and just, you know what I'm saying, let it just wash your brain out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's some people, they need to really get on the mat and really start, you know, moving around and bringing that mobility into their body. Some people need to just stop. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the problems that I've found personally that the yoga has shown me is shit that I put on myself, or ways that I feel about shit that's just out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, like this morning, I was mad as shit. You know what I'm saying? But for all intents and purposes, I didn't necessarily need to be that mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna say I coulda, because I'm not gonna, you know, that's speculation, but I recognized that I was more upset than the situation warranted. Now, that's not taking away any legitimacy from my feelings, but it's like, when you take it from the perspective of what's best for the overall, that's different than what's best for you, or what's best for me, or what's best for us, or what's best for this situation that we in right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really believe that we was all put here for whatever purpose, then it should be about fulfilling that purpose. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. They say in the yoga that whatever your last thoughts is on your mind when you die, that's how you come back. So that's why they always chanting and shit, because they chanting to God. So when they die, they're not trying to come back. Like, it's a whole sect of these yoga people, the Hare Krishnas. They run around Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And they say that shit all day, every day, run around spinning, butt-ass naked, just chilling. Because it is said in certain, you know what I mean, texts that because of the type of times that we living in, that's the way to not come back. You just chant Hare Krishna, that mantra, and then you just keep thinking about that shit. So when you die, you're gonna come back on some, you know, closer to God type shit. And it's funny because, like, you know, they talk about, you know, you come into the yoga, this shit get real metaphysical at a certain point, and you start talking about different lives and shit, right? Well, you know, I was given the understanding that, you know, when you was in your mom, for them 9 months, that was a life. That life ended. It began once the sperm hit the egg, and it ended once you popped out the cooch. Like, that's how it ended. That was that life. That was your prenatal life. And then, you know, one the fucking whatever the fuck before you start talking, that was another life. And then, you know, you went to school. Well, then you got your grade school life. And then you went to college and you got your whole nother life. And so you could look at just phases of the human development as a whole entire different lives. Like before I found this yoga, I was living an entirely different life. You know what I'm saying? And it ended by me finding this yoga. And it began for whatever reason it began. And so when we look at our different lives, you know, you start noticing energetic patterns. And those energetic patterns are called samskaras. You know what I'm saying? And so samskaras and karma, they follow you throughout these lives until you deal with this energy. So I'll give you an example. If, you know, you got a girlfriend or whatever, and, you know, you had different girlfriends at all these different phases in your life or whatever. Well, if you cursing these chicks out because you get upset, well, it might not matter what you got upset about, but you could look at the pattern like, damn, I keep cursing these drawings out. And I be drawing. Like, it don't even matter what I'm doing. So then you deal with the energetic source of the issue. You know what I'm saying? Or like, you know, chicks say, you know, when you meet a niggas ain't shit drawing, right? Once you meet her, it's like you look at her, and if you get her to talk about her different relationships, you'll be able to draw that pattern. Like, oh, she keep, you know what I'm saying? She keep cheating, or maybe she keep, you know what I'm saying? Like focusing on their pockets or what. Like it's easy. Like when we take that time to look at the whole entirety of things, you know, it gives us that perspective, that awareness. It all really comes back to perspective and awareness. And once we have that perspective and awareness, we can correct our actions. So in our next round of karma, we don't have to deal with the same shit that we've been dealing with, because now we dealt with it. Like they always say, you come back to some shit until you deal with it, until it's, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not gonna go away until you deal with it. And yoga really is dealing with it. It is the dealing with it. Yoga is the Sanskrit word for unite. So not only are you uniting your mind, body, and spirit, but you're uniting, you know, the nurtured version of yourself with your true nature. Like all of the shit we done did to get to this point that took us away from who we really are, yoga brings you back to that. So some people need to move more. Some people need to move less. Some people need to talk more. Some people need to talk less. Some people need to do more. Some people need to do less. And so like this person, you know, Joe Blow coming up to me like, yo, how can this yoga save my life? By doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the answer I could give you. And like now, how to do yoga, now we could get busy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But how can this yoga help me? By fucking doing it.
Wow. Let me tell you something. This entire conversation has taught me a lot. Also, side note, I remember like doing the Baltimore Avenue dollar stroll. Mm-hmm. I ran into two young ladies. They were like, "Hey, we're selling a book for $5." It's for they have a yoga studio down the way, down like in I want to say in Northern Liberties.
The Fishtown.
You
talking about the Mantra Lounge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the book they gave
That's
me.
the Hare Krishna boys. They Hare Krishnas.
Exactly. I found out because my homegirl Heather. Shout out to Heather Sizemore.
Yeah, Heather Sizemore. She teaches. Well, I don't know if she teaches, but she takes my Wednesday class a lot.
Yeah.
Yoga on Man. Yeah, Heather Sizemore. She's thorough out here in these yoga streets.
Real thorough. She's the one who told me that the book that they gave me their version of
the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Yeah, he wrote that, John.
Yeah. And I found out that was like the Hare Krishna version of that. Boom. Now that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Nah, but that book, like, let me tell you, if y'all listening, you want to get on your yoga and really know what it's about, go read the Bhagavad Gita. Go check him out.
Yes, because I got it in my collection. I got to get to it, hopefully over the break I get from work, some time to myself. But before we end this, I want you to get into your mantra and what it means.
Which one? This, John? Oh.
Yeah, one I try to pronounce off camera.
Om Shreem Hreem Kleem Glam Gam Ganapataye Swaha. And so the first time I was exposed to that mantra was at Yoga on Main. And so Ganesh is the deity that you invoke when you're trying to begin something. And he come up in a whole bunch of different. He's a legua in the Yoruba tradition, and so it's I did my research on that too. Like all of the deities across the board, they line up. You know what I'm saying? Like this does this. This is the opener. This is the the feminine goddess or whatever. Like they all line up. You know what I'm saying? And so when you dealing with Ganesh and when you trying to start something, I was really attracted to Ganesh because I was really entering the yoga journey. Like I was beginning it. And so this, I believe the first time I heard it was in Yoga on Main, but it really attached itself to me. When we graduated from our 200 hour, we went out to one of our instructor's classes out to his house, and he got this dope house like in East Bubble, PA, like by the creek, and it's quiet, and you know what I'm saying, no cell phone service, nothing. It's like really like an ashram kind of. And so, you know, the fire ceremony is called a puja. And so, you know, you say something and then you throw something in the fire to offer it. Namaha means I honor, and Swaha means I offer. So Om Shreem Hreem Kleem Glam Gana Om Shreem Hreem Kleem Glam Gam Ganapataye Swaha. That means, you know, each one of those words means something different. But when you hear Ganapati is another name for Ganesh, and that name specifically means the reservoir of wisdom. So, you know, you'll see Ganesh, he got the elephant head. One of his tusks is broke off, and that broken tusk he used to write down all of the notes that he's taken from the bull, who's Vyasa, who wrote all of the stuff. Anyway, you know, when we was doing that and we was making those offerings into the fire, like I really felt it. Like I really felt like, look, Ganesh, like I'm throwing this dirt and leaves into this fire so you could really understand. I'm trying to really boom out here in these yoga streets. I'm really trying to take this shit to the max. And like I did that shit, and from then on I've been taking that shit to the max. And it's like I stick with it. And Ganesh got a bunch of this Om Gam Ganapataye Nama Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Shreem Hreem Kleem Gam Ganapataye Swaha. Om Shri Maha Ganapataye Swaha. And you know what I'm saying? It's infinite. It really is, because you really can make up your own mantras if you know enough Sanskrit. But that one right there, the long one, and then the short one, those really that's my go-to. If I'm trying to crack open a big door, it's Om Shreem Hreem Kleem Glam Gam Ganapataye Swaha. If I'm trying to do a little something, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. You know what I'm saying? If I'm trying to, like, and I got a bunch of them. I don't know how deep you want me to go, but
go ahead. Do you
listen?
think,
So for the chakras, I do the bija mantras: Lam Bam Ram Yam Ham Om Om. For the major, the top dog of the mantras is the Gayatri mantra: Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitor Varnayam Bargo Devasyadi Madi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. That's supposed to be in the Gita. They say, look, cause in the Gita is Krishna talking to this boy Arjuna. He just be in his chariot. He like driving this boy Arjuna around, and Arjuna about to have this big civil war, and he stopped in the middle of it like, man, I'm not trying to do this shit, dog. This my fucking people's. Like, and Krishna, who's God, he like, you know, driving him around like, nigga, you tripping, dog. Like, look, it's all played out anyway, so just rock out. And then he just start, you know, telling him about himself and telling him how, you know, it's all kind of preordained. And he was like, you know, of the mantras, I am the Gayatri. You know what I'm saying? So it's like anything he named in that shit, that was the top dog. So when it's like really some major shit going on, it's the Gayatri mantra. When I was taught, one of my Balarama Chandra died. Shout out to Boaz Ramos. He came and gave us this Ayurvedic Thai massage session, and he gave us the Dhanvantari mantra. Namami Dhanvantarim Adidevam Sura Surir Vandita Para Padma Loke Jara Rubia Mritanasham Nataram Isham Vividosha Didna. Now that I don't really know what it means. I ain't gonna hold you up. I don't really know like verbatim. You know, I know what a couple of those words mean. You know what I'm saying? Sura Surir, that's demons and angels. You know what I'm saying? Pada Padma, like Pada is foot. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and basically it's just saying, you know, look out with that kind of energy. You know what I'm saying? And that's the cool thing I like about the mantras. Like, you really can do immediate work with the mantras. Like, if my hand is fucked up, right? My left hand is fucked up, and say it's cold, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I could say Om Ida Hasta Agni Namaha. Right, and I just made that shit up completely. But I know what all those Sanskrit words mean. Hasta means hand. Om is, you know, the universal, like the what you say for all of the mantras, pretty much. Agni is heat. You know what I'm saying? It's that inner fire. Ida is the left side. You know what I'm saying? And it's like once you know what you're doing, you could really just do more. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but yeah, Ganesh, that's my dude. He been looking out. When shit, I need some shit open, I'll be like, look, Ganesh, come on. And the one you hear a lot, you hear like Om Namah Shivaya, right? That's a Shiva mantra. And you'll hear like, and it gets muddy because, you know, not muddy, but it gets confused a little bit because it's Sanskrit, and then you got Hindi, and they real close. So you'll hear, you know, what's the Tina Turner joint? Nam Yoho Rengeng Yo, Nam Yoho. You know what I'm saying? That's a real popular joint. And so it's all, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's all God. You know what I'm saying? It's all different names for God, different aspects of God. Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, Kali, fucking Durga, Saraswati, Parvati. All these the deities, blah, 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 they all different expressions of God. You know what I'm saying? Just like people. Everybody is a different expression of this life that we all live in. You know what I'm saying? You got your experience, I got my experiences. You got your perspective, I got my perspective. But we all sitting here on the same boat. And it's like once you kind of deal with it like that, it just lets you know where you need to flex and ease up a little bit. And so yeah, the Ganesh mantras have really, they played a part in my training, and that training led me to, you know, having this conversation with you and being on the podcast. And that's why I'll put that at the end of whatever I said to you, right? Because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put this Joe because he gonna pick me. If he pick me, you know what I'm saying, let's put this sauce on it. You know what I'm saying? It's like the sauce. Like, you say what you got to say, and I do that all the time. I say what I got to say, and I say a little mantra at the end because I really want to put the energy that way. You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm not feeling like my godly self and shit, I want God to know that. You know what I'm saying? I'm really out here trying to do this for you, like trying to do this with the tools that you gave me in your name. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of how I fall off and, you know, I manifest imperfected, like I'm really out here trying to live righteous and do this shit from the muscle and stay true to the game.
I think that's going to be like a phrase that's going to be used. True to the game.
Bring it back. Bring it back. Because they frauding out here in these yoga streets, man.
Full circle.
And y'all going to have to deal with me because I'm coming. I'm not going to stop. I'm out here balling with this yoga. And eventually, if you frauding, you're going to be in the way. So go read a book, man. Go get that. Go pick up that Gita. I'm telling you. Because I'm coming. Big Mala Namaskar not playing.
So let them know where they can find you.
Man, listen. Mondays, Mondays, if you want to come check me, 2 classes back to back. Raja Yoga and Meditation Center, 20th and Fitzwater. 6 to 7:15 is the intermediate vinyasa, and 7:30 to 8:45 is the slow flow vinyasa. Tuesday, come check me out at Western Fitness, 1835 Market Street. It's the gym on the 2nd floor. And then I'm shooting down to South Philly, Shot Tower Rec Center on Carpenter between 2nd and Front. Wednesday, come check me out at Yoga on Main, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And then Dhyana Yoga, 16th and Walnut, 2:15 to 3:15. Thursday, if you want to check out the University of Pennsylvania, you can check out my Aquafit class 7 in the morning. Then I shoot up the Yoga on Main for the 10 to 11:30. Then I shoot down the University of the Sciences for the 5 to 6. And then I shoot up to Andorra for the Summit. You can't really get into that, John. It's a personal class. It's like for the patrons. But either way. Thursday, Friday is Daddy-Daughter Day. Shut it down. Saturday, 7:30 a.m. at Dhyana, 16th and Walnut. 11 to 12:30, Tustin Recreation Center, 60th and Columbia, across the street from Overbrook High School. Then I shoot back down to University of Sciences for 2:30 to 3:30. Sunday, University of Pennsylvania, 4 to 5 for the yoga, and then 5 to 5:30 for the meditation.
And that's where he's going right after this.
Yeah, right now I'm on my way to go teach at UPenn. Oh, and if you want your kids involved, in January at Mainline Yoga Shala, we starting a 7-week program. It's going down with these kids with this. And then in the summertime, when the parks start back up, it's really going to be bananas. So, but yeah, I'm grinding for now. But this, come get me while I'm teaching these classes, because soon there's going to be workshops and retreats and all that stuff. And then I'm be in my bag and, You know what I'm saying? But right now I'm in the city. I'm out here grinding in these yoga streets, raising my daughter, just staying true to the game.
Stay true to the game. I'm saying right now, brother, I'm very happy to have you on the show today.
I'm blessed, man. I appreciate you reaching out to me.
Hey, man, it's an honor on my side, man, because there's so much I wanted to know. Because, for me, like, of course, I'm out here too, man. I got the 9 to 5, but outside of that, I'm out here in the world, but at the same time, I'm trying to keep a good connection to me and to the higher source,
Ain't nothing else more important, and that's all we could do. If you ever need, if you need me for a show, if you want, class, whatever, anything, yogic, health, wellness, holler at me.
That's a bet.
I'm saying for real.
That's a bet. Because, again, man, you taught me a lot today, and I hope the listeners learn a thing or two, not just about yoga, but about life, and the fact that what I thought was very, very interesting is the point that you come from a background that's different from yoga, but the transition was seamless,
Seamless. That's a powerful word. Seamless. It was just. when something's supposed to happen, it's just supposed to happen.
It's organic, exactly.
Yeah, it's organic more than seamless. Because it damn sure was a lot of bumps in the road. And honestly, let me set the record straight. Like, my parents is together. They've been together for damn near 40 years. They raised me. They did their thing. They put me in school. Like they. Like, I was in college. Like don't get it twisted. I went left. On my own. Not because, I grew up in the projects and my mom was a crackhead. It was nothing like that. My mom is a dancer. My pops is a photographer. They ain't like, it ain't like Barishnikov for her. Right. But they, they definitely been places with their art, and they raised me, valuing experiences more than material things.
Right.
And so, like, their upbringing is really the core of what got me through going left and being in the streets. It wasn't like, I made it out, blah, 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 because in spite of them, like, I was raised right, and I just did a bunch of dumb shit, but that me going out and doing the dumb shit was because I didn't feel fulfilled, because I felt lost on the inside. And so I didn't find that way until I found the yoga. And then once I found the yoga, I was able to appreciate the upbringing that I had and try to, bring that health and wellness to the forefront of my personality. So it's like, don't think I'm out here on some, like made it out of the mud type shit. I made it out of the mud, but I jumped in the fucking mud myself too. I always I don't want to never get that part of the story twisted. Like, everything was cool until it wasn't cool. And then I had to recalibrate. Now I'm trying to be a father to my daughter. I'm reaching out to my parents and trying to, strengthen that connection and that holistic, like the whole story be important. Like people, they get wrapped up in the exciting parts about the shit. Like, no, you really got to be true to yourself. Like, that's just as important as being true to the game. Like,
it's all one and the same.
It is. It really is.
Big Mala. Thank you very much, brother.
No doubt, man.
Appreciate you, man.
All day.
No doubt. This has been another episode of the Fly Die Podcast. And
last thing, my fault. Check me out. Facebook, Big Mala Namaskar. Instagram, thugyogi.215. I don't know. I don't think I got nothing else. I don't know. If you want to Venmo me some bread, I'm on that joint. I don't know how, I don't know. Just, holla at me.
But how you spell your name for the Facebook cast?
BIGMALA. Namaskar.
There we go. Some people are like, oh, snap. What did it say? Was there a Z in that?
Ain't no other Big Malas out there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it's
on
the only
Facebook
way.
or in these yoga streets. It's just me.
Indeed.
Namaste all day.
That's how we're going to end this one. Namaste all day. Boom.
You win!